It's been a rough year for the theme park industry. Practically every park in the country was closed for a few months between March and July, extremely limiting the operational days for parks, especially in the northeast part of the country. In some ways, Kings Island was affected even more than other parks as they were scheduled to open a $30 million new attraction, Orion. Because of the limited capacity at the parks and shortened operational year, Kings Island will not see the return in investment like a boost in attendance until the earliest of 2021. Kings Island was able to open in time for the 4th of July holiday, and with initial lines to ride Orion lasting over 4 hours long, the park was given a bit of proof that their new attraction would be a crowd pleaser. Unfortunately, ride capacity was halved due to social distancing guidelines, so the ride wasn't able to function at full operational capacity. Speaking of capacity, I thought it would be fun to monitor how well Kings Island's ride operations were handling their handicapped capacity. So during my last trip to Kings Island, I timed multiple dispatches from their 3 most popular attractions to see how efficient their team was performing. The 3 coasters I tracked were Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, and Orion. I was hoping to also track a few other coasters, but these 3 were consistently holding the longest lines in the park. Starting off with Mystic Timbers, I timed a total of 8 dispatches, and the average dispatch time was 2 minutes 13 seconds. At that rate, Mystic Timbers would be able to dispatch approximately 26 trains per hour. Normally, Mystic Timbers would be able to hold a max of 24 riders, but because of the social distancing guidelines, Kings Island was only operating every other row for a new max total of 12 riders. So with 26 dispatches per hour with a max of 12 riders, Mystic Timbers is currently operating with a max capacity of 312 riders per hour. This is significantly lower than the ride's traditional capacity. The team was moving as fast as they could to dispatch the trains. In fact, I watched many times Mystic being dispatched as other trains started to roll into the shed. Mystic Timbers is a roller coaster that is designed to function with 3 trains. It's where the ride will meet its best capacity. Kings Island, as far as I could tell, only installed 2 trains on the track for the year, which I don't blame them for. Not only did they have no idea how many people to expect, but they didn't even know how long they would even be able to operate the park. Sure, it's a disappointment that the coaster wasn't operating with 3 trains, but Kings Island is a business and needs to make wise, cost-cutting measures during these trying times. Under normal operations, I came up with an estimated rider capacity of 1,080 riders per hour, approximately 3 times faster than they are operating right now. Moving on to our next roller coaster, Diamondback. Similar to Mystic Timbers, this roller coaster is only operating with 2 trains during the 2020 season, which it normally functions with 3. However, the difference between Mystic and Diamondback is that Diamondback can still operate efficiently with 2 trains. Mystic Timbers will have gaps in time where there is no train in the station, waiting for the shed sequence to end. As for Diamondback, as soon as one train rolls out of the station, the other train is basically ready to pull in right behind it. For Diamondback, I was able to track 9 dispatches and was given the average dispatch time of 2 minutes and 27 seconds. This wasn't half bad when considering every 30 minutes the train had to be sanitized. Speaking of, yes, all trains get sanitized every 30 minutes. Unlike other parks I visited this year, Kings Island staff was very efficient during this process, barely slowing down the operations at all. Normally, Diamondback would operate with 3 trains that hold 32 passengers. Now, with the new temporary guidelines, each train could only hold a max of 16 passengers. The first 4 cars were loaded by using only the middle seats, while the last 4 cars used the outer seats. So, with a total of 24 dispatches in an hour, Diamondback was operating with a capacity of 384 riders per hour. According to RCDB, Diamondback should be able to hit 1,600 riders per hour, which would be a train dispatching every 50 seconds, an optimistic number even under normal circumstances. According to the statistic, Diamondback should be able to operate 4 times faster under normal operations. Our last coaster to discuss is Orion. which is where we will see the best dispatch average at 1 minute and 26 seconds. Orion was operating with 3 trains, and a train would consistently dispatch as another train was just entering the brake run. I only tracked 6 dispatches, so I couldn't capture a cleaning cycle, but Orion's team was moving really fast to get their train cleaned during each 30-minute cycle. Just like Diamondback, Orion functions with 3 trains and should operate with 32 passengers per train. RCDB has their capacity listed at about 1,650 riders per hour, which is on par with what Diamondback might hit under best circumstances. Well, right now Orion is only loading 16 passengers per train. Each row alternates between placing riders in the middle seats and outer seats. With an estimated 41 dispatches per hour, Orion can achieve 656 riders per hour, almost double what Diamondback and Mystic Timbers can currently do, but still about half what Orion should do under normal circumstances. I want to applaud Kings Island staff for working so efficiently during these challenging times. I was really impressed with how fast they were able to dispatch their trains, with cleaning every 30 minutes, unloading trains by row, and only utilizing half of the train. Kings Island still managed to make lemonade out of their lemons. Well, that concludes my review of Kings Island's operations on their top 3 coasters. As I just mentioned, working with what they have, Kings Island has been doing a terrific job getting people through their lines as fast as possible. By next year, I'm hoping everything will be back to normal, and I'm looking forward to judging operations under normal conditions. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button. As always, subscribe so you don't miss out on more great content coming your way by XscreamThrills.